On to Manchester United, who surely must be better this season. That's the question for today, lads, because they won 1-0 against Fulham in the first game of the season. But did it fill you with any fear as rival fans? Did you feel any different about them? Do you think this is a team that's clearly getting better?
No. That's it. No, I'm joking. No.
End of the video. Great.
No,
Speak your mind, Joey. Will you?
I actually think that we just saw the same old stuff from Man United at Old Trafford. Probably going to be boring for 60, 70 minutes. Few half chances that will fall to Bruno Fernandes and some of their bigger sort of star names and whatnot. And eventually they'll either end up drawing the match or just about getting over the line. It was the tail of last season, wasn't it? However, here's what I would say. They've made some signings, and you saw that when some of the substitutes were brought on, obviously the Lit came on late, Xerxes, who obviously got the goal, and they've made some signings. They're looking to still do a bit of business in the transfer market. Now, with Man United's history in the transfer market, I don't think even if I was a Man United fan, I would be too optimistic that that's going to be the key to unlock the door of success. However, what I would say was I actually thought that they looked a little bit better on the hour mark when some of those substitutes did come on. So I think that Man United fans on the whole will be happy to have got the 3 points on board. Will be hopeful that with some of the new personnel, and also hopeful, as you will, Brian, as a Newcastle fan, as me and Josh will as Chelsea fans, that they have a less injury hit season this year. Because when you look at the defensive options they've got, then maybe they'll be a little bit better. But I think the problem will probably lie with the manager, because even if you grind out results, right, I don't want to call it lucky, but when you play that style of football, unless the style of football changes, there's only so many times that you will get over the line with that style of football. And even if they're sat still within a chance of getting some sort of European football, whether that be Europa League, most likely, probably, maybe, it could be Champions League. If it gets to Christmas and they've still got that style of football with the new ownership who own part of the club, I don't know. I don't see Ten Hag making it through past Christmas, really.
My thing with Man United, and specifically their fans, is a lot of them quite excited, understandably.
Yeah.
They have got technically new ownership, right? And they're saying, look, there is going to be improvements this season. And it's like, well, I should fucking hope so. All right. You gave this man 200 million to start with, then another 200 million. He gave you the worst season in recorded history at Manchester United. Now you spent another 150 million. How could he possibly make it worse at that point? Like, you've literally gone to rock bottom under this manager. And we're now going to celebrate him having a season where he does a bit better than that, are we? Like, how could you possibly make it worse? And that's the thing, when you give a manager as much time through consistently shocking football and give him more money and more money and more money, of course it's going to get a bit better. It bloody should. You'd hope so. So when to be honest, I was watching the Fulham game, and the thing that really came across for me was, for the majority of it, it was identical to last season in the sense of Manchester United were quite easy to play through. But in that final third, where Fulham have not got the financial might of Manchester United, that is where it counts. And that is where Ten Hag will beat opposition managers. It's not because he's tactically any better than or a better man motivator. He's just got more fucking money to spend. It is that simple, because Fulham, in that final third, and I'm not going to name the players, but they're fucking thick as pig shit, right? Those Fulham players on the ball, you watch the midfield do so much good work from the defence. They get to the final third, and these idiots are clueless. And, you can put that down to good defending if you want, but it was just terrible decision making.
Well, the closest that Fulham came to scoring was a long range effort from a centre back, wasn't it, in that match? So I think that says it all, to be honest. So,
exactly. And look, I'll give Man United credit in that they better in the final third. They were a bit better in the final third. Again, look at the price tags on them. Of course they should be. What I will say for Xerxes, looked like he had a bit of a nice touch on him. Big lad as well for the stature of have that touch to come on and create something. He looked like a footballing centre forward, which is not what Højlund has looked like so far, who's more of a pacey player and trying to use physicality. So he looked promising. But you think to yourself, of course, like, you've got to finally get some signings right. But again, who did he come on for? Mason Mount, who'd been played together with Bruno Fernandes, and they'd amounted 0 goals together again. So, they're still trying to play these two together. I think Ten Hag, through that substitution, needs to look at Xerxes and go, let's fucking start this kid because he looks better than what we've got. For 40-odd million, he should.
Is there a cautionary tale here, though? You can tell by the smile on my face that I'm not hoping this happens. Of course, I'm not hoping it happens at all. But cautionary tale about Man United players on their debuts. I remember Anthony popping up with a goal against Arsenal on his debut. I remember Martial looking like an absolute wonder boy on his debut. So let's just see how Xerxes gets on, by the way. Let's not go too far on him straight away.
Well, they changed shape, didn't they? When they brought Xerxes on, they changed shape a bit. That first shape they started with, like you say, Brian, when they were playing Bruno and Mount up top together, Mainu and Casemiro deeper, and then they had Diallo and Rashford on the sides. That was crazy. Because they've essentially got 4 central midfielders there, and yet every time Fulham got the ball, they were just passing straight through the middle.
Straight through them.
And we're not talking about world-class players in Fulham's midfield. I don't mean to be disrespectful. We're talking about Alex Iwobi. Yeah. We're talking Alex Iwobi that Everton were fine to let go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And Pereira, who was let go from Man United, again, another one who can't fucking do fuck all.
And what did we see last season? To what you said earlier about how Fulham just didn't have the players in the final third to kill Man United, what was their record against the top 9 last season, Man United? It stunk. Because as soon as you play a team that has got killers at the top of the pitch, they'll kill it. And I just don't think they've done the stuff in this transfer window that stops that happening. The midfield still looks like a gaping hole in the middle of it because you've got Casemiro dropping deeper and deeper and deeper. Mainu, I think what we've learned with England, Mainu isn't your drop deep and link play centre mid. He wants to push on as well. So there's no one in the middle of the pitch who just wants to own that zone of the pitch. They've bought De Ligt in defence. He's a decent player. We've said it already. His value's decreasing like a yellow sticker sandwich in Tesco. Every time he makes a move, it's less money. But I think if you're going to say what style of player is De Ligt, he's pretty close to Harry Maguire, who I thought was brilliant, by the way. I thought Maguire was great against Fulham. But what's Man United's problem? They can't stay high enough because the defenders don't have the pace. Does De Ligt have the pace? No. They need a right winger. They've got Diallo. I'm not being disrespectful to Diallo. He was a great player for Sunderland. That doesn't make you a great player for Manchester United in 2024. I feel like they've spent a lot of money this transfer window and they still haven't answered any questions they had at the start.
I think the fact that Amrabat is now gone and he had a very strong end to last season is quite, interesting. And I don't know how thought out, like you say, Ten Hag wants, backup in the defence because he got exposed in that area last season. We've seen the way Palace just ripped them to shreds. But I'm still not convinced by what I've seen in that Fulham game. And I know people will say, oh, well, you wouldn't be, would you? Like, you're hoping for the downfall. But I've got eyes, you know what I mean? And a lot of the general play of that game was two teams who looked on a level with each other. And only in the final third did Man United look like they had anything more than Fulham. And with the level of money spent, they're kicking on to 600 million alone under Ten Hag. You just wouldn't expect that to be the case. So I think the jury is still out. But I do think they've made improvements. Like, I do think De Ligt is a signing that strengthens the squad.
Yep.
I do think Xerxes looked good when he came on. But it's just, is that going to be enough for what should at the bare minimum? And now, a word from our sponsors. Lads, you know I care about you lot. And when you're out there, if you're a fan of mine, you're not just representing yourself, but you're partly representing me. I can't have people saying, oh, I like True Geordie's videos, and going around with some dodgy beard game, or even worse, a dodgy ball game. I won't let that happen. By God as my witness. And that's why you need this amazing bit of kit, the Manscaped treatment, in your life. First up, we've got to talk about the balls. Your new best friend is going to be the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This bad boy can cut through the bushiest of bushes, but it's also gentle on the skin. And you can go for a nice trim or a smooth finish. And it's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. Now onto the beard, because you didn't think this happened by accident, did you? I take good care of it. Whether you're going for a stubble look or a nicely shaped thick beard, the Beard Hedger has got you covered. It's got a titanium coated stainless steel T-blade and 20 length options, so you can achieve any look you want. And what I like to do, I don't know if you can tell, I sort of leave it longer down here and then I change the setting to make it a bit shorter and then get up and then a little shorter and then a little shorter, just to blend it in. This is a bit of advice for you. They're not even told me to say this. I'm just I just use it. Do you know what I mean? I know what I'm doing. And just like the lawnmower, the beard hedger is also waterproof, so you can do your grooming in the sink or the shower without worrying about water damage. And a great feature is 60 minutes of runtime and an LED charge indicator, so you'll not be getting caught short mid-trim. So if you like the sound of that, just click the link in the description below and you'll go to manscaped.com/thekickoff and use the code THEKICKOFF, all one word, THEKICKOFF, for 20% off and free shipping. But for now, enjoy the video. Remember how much Man United fans were going in on Arteta and the 5-year project and all of that? Well, he made clear progress within those years, and it was very clear each year. All right, there's improvement. All right, they stagnated for a minute there, but this is the point where Ten Hag...
We didn't stagnate. We got more points every single season.
Well, exactly. But to their theory, I'm saying. But the reality is, the excuses have gone. You've 600 million almost spent now. Like, they have got to be delivering serious progress this season. With realistically, in your third year as Manchester United manager, how can anything less than Champions League qualification be acceptable?
Well, and also as a Man United, you look at the players they're bringing in. I look at the teams around Man United. I look at teams like Villa, Spurs, and Chelsea. You compare the caliber of players that those other teams are doing. Amadou Onana, who's gone to Villa, I think he's exactly what Man United need.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I cannot believe United
they were in for him.
There.
I think they were in for him.
So they're losing players to fucking Aston Villa. What day is it? Where are we? Like,
what is it?
Dominic Solanke, who's gone to Spurs, is he a better or worse addition than Joshua Zirkzee? I think you have to say Solanke would have been a smarter addition than Zirkzee.
That might be proved to be false later, but what we know right now is Solanke scored a lot of goals in the Premier League last season, which, you know, suggests that there was a proven track record there,
but then
as opposed to Zirkzee, who was a bit more of a risk.
To play devil's advocate there, would we not be saying that it's a sign of the times if Man United were to go out and splash 60 million despite him scoring 19 Premier League goals last season? You know, he didn't cut the grade. It was at Liverpool he was at as well, wasn't he? He didn't cut the grade there. Would we be saying, it's a little bit, you know, unambitious, them going and signing him? And by the way, this isn't a point that I would actually subscribe to myself. I think that going and getting a player that does give you guaranteed Premier League goals is something that's invaluable, and I think he'll replicate that at Spurs. I think it's smart business. However, what I would say is the potential there for Zirkzee may be a little bit better. And if I'm a Man United fan, which I'm far from one, but if I'm a Man United fan, I'm probably looking at it and I'm going, right, if we can get Yoro and Martinez at the back, and then we can get Casemiro next to Kobbie Mainoo, and then, for example, if Garnacho plays the way that he played for a lot of the time last season, if we can somehow get Rashford to tick this season, and, you know, considering he normally takes one on, one off, this should be his one on season, hopefully.
Has he got a girlfriend this year?
Yeah.
No, the Rashford thing, again, you've had the whole summer to digest the fact that you were dropped from the England squad. I'm expecting a reaction this season from Marcus Rashford. This is it's his last chance to prove that he is the guy, right? Because it's like, this is a major setback, a slap in the face, and some footballers will come back swinging after that. And I've got to be honest, in this game, he looked fucking average as hell. Like, he didn't look like he should have been on the pitch. The fact that Garnacho is sat on that bench, and he offers so much more, in my opinion, right now in his career than Marcus Rashford. That cannot continue for much longer. Like, Marcus Rashford is facing losing his position to Garnacho, in my opinion.
Well, I'll tell you what, Marcus Rashford turns 27 in October, and I think he should be having a serious look at what's happening to Raheem Sterling's career at Chelsea. He should be looking at that, because I love Rashford. I think the potential he has, he could be one of the best players in the league, but something's not working there. And really, I'd want Rashford to be saying to his agent, "Get me out of here."
And by the way, on your Sterling point, Raheem Sterling's career as a whole is infinitely better than what Marcus Rashford has achieved. And yet, Sterling is in the position he's in right now. So if you think this can't happen to you, bro, you're fucking dead wrong.
And
you know what I mean?
You know, when you, like, the thing of being a one club man and coming through the academy, listen, I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, we had John Terry do it for us. But at the same time as doing that, I don't think there was ever a time, and maybe it's a very sort of unfitting comparison to compare John Terry and Marcus Rashford, but in terms of one club men, maybe we could go with, say, Steven Gerrard, for example, at Liverpool until he went off to America or whatever. I don't think there was a time when the fan base were divided on whether to keep a Steven Gerrard or a John Terry. Now, so many Man United fans that I speak to, so many of them actually say to me, should probably move him on. Should probably go somewhere else and whatnot. And that's the thing. If that is a feeling amongst the fan base, and listen, I'm not deep, delved into the fan base, so maybe I could be wrong on this, and I'm sure the YouTube comments will tell me I am. But that is the feeling amongst the fan base a little bit. It's almost just a bit like, mate, why are you holding on? Because I do think that could be the lease of life he needs to go out there and play in a different team, long since been linked with PSG and whatnot. I think that we'd probably see a bit of a glow up from Rashford if he was to go and broaden his horizons a bit.
Mate, I'd like
it's ironic because
I'd have him at Arsenal.
It's ironic. Did you see Mason Greenwood? Do you see Mason Greenwood in France?
2 goals straight away, first game.
Fucking
looked great.
Banged them, top bit. Mate, look, at the end of the day, just looking at this purely from a footballing standpoint, with what he did in that game, I was like, fucking hell, that is one hell of a debut that this kid just had. And then they've got Marcus Rashford just looking flat as a fart, man. It's going to be interesting to see how their careers are, going in interesting ways.
And do you remember the comments that Marcus Rashford made? It was last season when he spoke about, no one can question my commitment to this club. Now, that for me, said, if I'm to sort of look at that from a can never say the word, psychology standpoint, that for me would be like, okay, you don't almost want to be here, because that's the first thing you're saying. It's not about, look, we're all hands on deck to improve and to move forward. It's no one can question my commitment to this club. And that kind of suggests that you're saying, even when these lot have been shit, I've still stayed. You know what I mean?
Mate,
the one positive for Man United from the game, sorry, mate, is they did have a better XG than Fulham. They did create better chances. I can't deny that they created the better chances, even if the general play was on a par, but I think they're going to have to show a lot more, like was said earlier by, I think, Jacob, against the top 10. They're going to need to come with a lot more than that under Ten Hag, in my opinion.